So we are in our 25th day to our journey, and we're focusing mainly in this quarter, the third quarter, about refining ourselves. And like I said yesterday, this cannot be taught in 10 days. So we're going to focus on a few major things when it comes to refine yourself. I told you already, when it comes to the type of work that is called Tikun Midot, refinement of character, there's a few ways how to approach it. One of the ways is by the teachings of Rabbi Dvorah, who is known as the Ramak. And he has a book, it's called Tomir Dvorah. And the Ramak is a great Kabbalist. This is the only book that is really not a straight out book of Kabbalah. But nevertheless, since he wrote it, then you can be sure that the intentions and the power behind it is based on the teachings of Kabbalah. And he explains there that we have to resemble our Creator. And in order for us to resemble our Creator, then we have to see the Creator's attributes and then to mimic it. And the whole book of Tomir Dvorah, at least the first section, he breaks down the 13 attributes of Hashem, explains what they are, and then teaches how it applies in our life. I don't know if you were present, but about 2 or 3 years ago we went through the entire book and we learned it, and I told you we're going to read it and learn it again, because it's a very powerful way to really work on yourself. Today I just want to focus on one of the midot, one of the attributes that we read every day, that Hashem has one of these attributes. Probably one of the most hardest things to apply in your life, but we're not looking for discounts or for shortcuts. We're looking to get things done, and this is definitely one of the most powerful and important attributes that you want to work on. The Kadosh Baruch Hu, we read every day, has 13 attributes of mercy. And we start by saying Hashem, Hashem, Kel Rachum V'Chanun, God, a merciful God. But then we get to the jackpot. Erech Apayim. Erech Apayim, the translation to it is forbearance. Forbearance is when a person does something bad to you, deliberately, intentionally, knowingly, and you still forgive that person. And not only that you forgive that person, you don't even hold grudge, and you don't hold anything against this person. And why is that? Because if you believe that everything comes from the Master of the universe, then your only complaint should be to the Master of the universe. Since the Master of the universe does everything with righteousness, then the complaint should be directed to yourself. But the secret here, the core here, the essence, the root of everything is how much I believe in Hashem. If I believe that really everything comes from Hashem, then that negates any possibility that you did something to me. Now, happens to be that you were the messenger. Our sages call it the axe in the hand of the tree chopper. That's how you call it, the tree chopper, chotev etzim. Hagarzen beyad hachotzev. You are nothing, you are just the axe. But somebody else was operating the axe. So if I'm upset at you, I have an issue. This is a good example to that is if you take a stick and you hit a dog, this dog will bite the stick. He's not going to bite you. Why? Because he thinks it's the stick that's hitting him. He doesn't understand that you are hitting him. Same thing here. The person that did wrong to you is the stick. The one who's moving the stick is Hashem. And you are the dog. If you believe that the stick is the one that hits you. So this is a very, very hard practice to master, because it's very hard for me when you do something to me to ignore that you are a messenger. And it's very hard for me to understand that the message is coming from Hashem, and even harder for me to understand that it's coming as a result of my own action. And even if I'm unbelievable on my best behavior, the best Jew in history, and it has nothing to do with my action, then it's coming from the Kadosh Baruch Hu to teach me something. So the practice here is, first of all, to understand that nothing happens to you without the approval of the supreme of all, which is the master of the universe. Nothing happens to you if Hashem does not allow it to happen. Take it out from your head that there's something that can happen in this world without the approval, the final stamp of Hashem. Nothing. Our sages say in the Talmud, "En adam nokef etzba milemata." A person cannot even move a finger in the world below, "Ela im ken machrizim alav milemala," unless it's declared from the world above. Which means you can't do anything without the approval from above, and nobody can do to you something without Hashem approving it. So if somebody does something bad to you, obviously it went through the committee of Hashem. It was presented to the master of the universe by the committee. The Kadosh Baruch Hu looked and says, it's okay, you can do it. Which means that if I have any anger, any feelings of revenge, or any other emotion against the messenger, then first of all I'm a fool, but more than that I declare in other words that I don't believe that it's the master of the universe that did it, which this is mamash going against the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And to a certain extent this is heresy. What, you believe that this person can do something to you? That somebody can touch your parnasah, your livelihood, or your honor, respect, your status in the community or whatever it is? So first of all, and most important, I have to dig down to the depth of my emunah, to my belief, to understand that everything happens from the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and there's a good reason for that. But now, how do I really apply that? Is that I have to understand that you are just a messenger. And if I'm upset at the messenger, I'm totally ignoring the heavenly system here. It's almost like you're getting chas v'shalom, a lawsuit, and then there's a certain messenger from the court that comes and hands you the paper, and you punch him in his face. What do you want from me? I just came with the papers. And the same thing, it's almost like you being upset at the UPS messenger. So really, when you go down to the bottom of it, it's very childish and immature and irresponsible to have any feelings toward another person. Now, is it easy to do? Extremely not. It's almost impossible not to have any anger or any feelings of hate, remorse, revenge, anything towards the one who hits me. But if you're able to pass it, then you're able to totally ignore the messenger. He has nothing to do with you, you have nothing to do with him. You can't judge him, you can't be upset at him. If you are able to jump this obstacle, then the reason why it happened to you in the first place will be completely annulled and ignored. But you fail by you judging that person, that usually will either cause you to lose your temper, so you sin over there. Either it will cause you to react or retaliate, you sin over there. Either it will cause you to start a fight, an argument, slander, lashon hara, gossip, and all these horrible things, you sin over there. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the leg. Instead of stopping and saying, you are not the problem, you are just standing in the way. Move for a second, now let me see what's the problem. So again, if you're focusing on the messenger, you lost the game. If you move the messenger aside, you'll see why it happened. Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu, when he gives you a message, it comes very, very clear. But when you're limiting your vision and you're throwing it all, you're projecting the light on the messenger, you missed the message from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And I'll give you one example out of many. If you get a ticket, a parking ticket, and you get upset at the person who writes the ticket, you miss the point. You're getting a parking ticket because Hashem is hinting to you that you maybe did gezel. You stole something. You did type what's called robbery. Gezel is robbery, which doesn't sound exactly like what it is, Because robbery, you're imagining a ski mask and you're going into a bank. But gezel is that you take something, kind of like theft. The difference between gezel and theft is when you come at night, when everybody's asleep, and you come through the window and you steal something. This is gneva. Gezel is what's called daylight robbery. You do it in front of the person's face, and the person, in most cases, doesn't even know that you took anything from him. And many people fail in gezel because nobody seems to put their time and effort to learn the laws of gezel. And Hashem Yerachem, how severe it is. So if you're getting hit in the finance department, must be that you did something in the finance department. You stole, you cheated, you charged or paid interest, whatever it is, but you got to see the hint. And the same thing with the medical department. You get somebody punches you, just for the sake of the example. Why are you getting upset at the person who punched you? You must have done something by hurting another person. Now you're getting it back. Now, not always the writing on the wall is so clear. But definitely if you're focusing on the messenger, then you miss the message. Somebody sent me a video the other day of an individual that's getting a police ticket. And he recorded himself telling the policeman, "Thank you for being such a dedicated messenger. I know you are a good person. You're doing your job. I was wrong. Hashem has sent me the message." He's thanking him. And the policeman is like, "What?" And then, they're shaking hands. But the man is true. He's telling the police officer, "You're just doing your job. You are just a messenger. Thank you for fulfilling your job the right way. I got my message from the Master of the Universe. I have no hate towards you, no grudge." Focus on the message and don't focus on the messenger. You focus on the messenger, you missed the point, and you dig yourself a hole that you're not going to be able to come out from. Focus on the message, then you are mimicking the attribute of the Kadosh Baruch Hu of Erech Apayim. Not easy to do, but can be done.